The share was possible.
Then I think we see area.
And then me say a chance here on government arrest or say a car in some of our coin win and finally government say we're cleaning now. I'm a contract and up to June 2026. Say open one pill and so completely quite the my.
My mencha na mencha what here for the mencha when we are in the house and I mean say so we Ghana kwanya fa so a ya politics over the years a dey for the continuity and ya dey you prioritize it. So very often over here aban banner set or be start a project be a when you buy house no the other government comes in and pursue a different agenda or priorities. So at the end of the day nema na aban na back on start here no na I go waste. And my contention has always been that aban bia anywhere over power okodi pa akopɛ de sika de bɛyɛ mpontudwuma ɛyɛ Ghana for ye sika ye taxpayers money ɛna ye de yes anema no and say obi sha ase a obi ba you're supposed to finish it by ensuring say Ghana for sika omo de ahye saa de enum no and go waste. But in recent times, even though we have law sitting in our books because of laxity, you know, some of these things, you know, are not applicable, and very often a man forget away with some of these things. So I think that President Mahama Baye was taking some of these bold initiatives. Some of the mistakes are here in our politics where a particular government decide to abandon project will be started here in the past. You know, he's rewriting the books. Washa see enye Hong Kong Ashanti region, some of the market or started here. Ejigu yen will go back. I think that they are trying to revive most of them, and I'm sure that there are notable projects in the coming days, you know, or better attention to, because I want to in our Ashanti region the project is a Afari Hospital. It's $1 million.
Crowflow market
project. No, Afari Hospital.
And I'm Crowflow market.
Yes, and several other markets.
Crowflow market. Say for 2,000 stores.
Yes. So those things are there, and there are things that it is only right and just say you be go back. You bet me a revival near my way, because at the end of the day, and benefit NDC and benefit MPP, benefit the people of this country, because so what that sorry so we cow now here ya sabia young kobisa sa we NDC na we MPP na our party card wa Ghana for and a kwako use so otimi sa na na beboa in recent times or he Kumasi Accra road it looks as if say every weekend be a nipa dodo na wu ho accident or china because of some of these things. So I think say Pokuya say that particular stretch, you know, has been a major challenger over the years, you know. So government, President Mahama make a bold decision. I give you timeline, you know. I just hope, say, or making sure, say, that timeline, you know, is followed, because we've seen several situations. I know the day, you know, you vary some of these things. And I mean, road construction, crowd, I thought that name and one was even quite fast. No, I see as a sign name because we are 24 hours a day. I wonder why our contractors block in a day a month for go about, especially a busy place like your friend saying Accra. Now you block roads here. You don't do that anywhere. What we can do is enumerate a bus 6 o'clock to 6. Yen making sure that particular time near the road everywhere around the world. That is what they do. So why can't we do the same thing? Because our poker as a stress can say me if they are working 12 hours every day, they can finish. But unless I'm really no power, I'm for some on blocking road, not traffic, and that is the culture.
No, I'm also a
that daytime. So I question any probably and so sometimes I don't know why a common sense kit be, but I no kitty and as a yet sunny, no. You go on this cultural lines, Sani no, sa GBC for name and yaba hatches, no, that kind of attitude. Into we are not ready to experiment anything. We quite quine and najo if you have all the resources. That is why you have even the free way to do whatever that you want.
Pressure here.
Be out from at the end of the day, no, you also don't cause inconveniences. So I think it's good, sir. President Mahama take it upon himself. I just hope, sir, we walk through this particular thing and make sure, sir, I think that maybe our topic back one now may very much interested in your friend saying Chief Justice and the remover and then as for because I think about one of the topical issues a man for a bebre and sometimes you sit back and you listen to some of the conversations now Dean Ekosona you begin to understand that it is more of emotions rather than making tangible legal constitutional saying factual argument and nipana omwatiasi momoka nsem nu nyina no none of them and timia premise their argument on some constitutional errors, some procedural infractions be a cause, so and I say will be a circumvent the processes that we need to go through before some of these things are carried out. And for me, that is a bit of cynicism that is being, sold around by some of these individuals. Because me, I will never come here and sit a precedent. Obetimi atena baby I take a unilateral decision and answer what me engineer certain machinations like I say this independent head where I say institutional head where men pen asem to me free if you start that and nobody but if you look at the processes that has been activated that's fire baby through here then Ghana Bar Associations already and make or more concerns known to Ghanaians but they could not premise it on anything of value. So I can say, president, because these are lawyers. Yeah. They are not coffee makers. Yes.
What can say ordinary Ghanaians?
Okay. No, they are not. They are not coffee makers. You know. Now I can say, weird. These are lawyers. Okay. So I don't know.
Yeah, related to their profession.
Yes, related to their profession. Something legal. And the first thing, I'm for arguments and gaining value. I say. You are pointing to legal infractions. What I see, and I say procedural errors be a cause why our occasional officer anunti neman koye. But as it stands now, so Article 146, President Mahama a new home coin so Chief Justice a free Ghana your constitution way a man of home coin say only Chief Justice a di. Sani ya constitution no. Nambum ne power say odi obiadino only becomes activated when Obia send the petition dia kwakoma no na se petition ni nyakokodi no ho wi then there are processes that he need to follow through as president just to ensure say and since among for the petition come no sa process na ya go through wa be sin and I'm saying say this whole thing is not a novelty baka say ono nkwa na ye di no sis your friend say Charlotte say go through the same process former Shraj boss go through the same process judges binum go through the same process ninyina at the end of the day no the be yinadi the so okofie so sa process na and ye go through amanfo sorry say team pobi na amanfo abo and ye di Chief Justice na free but then amanfo buomoni egu so key issues na ewa asem no mu a ye ka ho asem no amanfo buomoni egu so no mo nka ho asem so what kind of committee no report na or say Chief Justice etu kwan call baby or use sikabro so enisen ko use sikabro so because or not as a Chief Justice no he's supposed to know better. Okay. And this is what your friend is saying your friend say Judiciary now they have this arrangement to say we a Chief Justice and I am everyone nhwehye mu ya to say so we a Chief Justice now person utu kwan na your private way you can decide to go with who and as or personal way betimi akoba a private be amanya holidays me mpesa metena Ghana be am pesa me ko US then we a Chief Justice in as much as I will call private tour no bibi ko si na to aka Ghana because ye nyi word we a Chief Justice because and Chief Justice you hold a lot of nema under your stride so unim sa and this of course see na obi ko kidnap no ka say Ghana security be catch na you endanger the whole national security because nema onimu and now you can be forced to sign certain documents and as for will come against us. So in the wisdom of those who crafted that particular thing is okay, call private tour, the state is willing to pay for it. But the guarantee is say the security back out now Bibi is here, and security or how protect no protect and son of Baby Drew. Sabayahu endanger national security. This is the whole essence that people don't want to understand. Now, in your private way, no, you don't expose this country to danger. And Tiffany Panakao, now one and uncle. Then, of course, there be say, yes, me for nipa me nunko de ane police ni me for police ni nko me de me baba ko. You don't do that anywhere. Alaska, your friend is saying, Dean, position near positioner. you thrive with integrity, you thrive with honesty, and aside that, you become a symbol. So you need to live a certain life. About inspire man for say yendi mraso because mo na mo hye mrade mraso enti an hye ne say wo ne police ni nkwa untumi nkasa mayi police ni asinchen de meba e ka ho de me akọ anko no mo call ne say wo hwe and you see asem na e wo petition enum no enya John Mahama ba ye no mo kọtworo to petition mo kọtworo ye o eye audit reporter eye Ghana Audit Service a carry out in 2023 omo flag say saa de na Chief Justice here no was unfortunate, was flagged as a financial malfeasance, and it is within the audit report. And did somebody chance on that particular thing and included it? So it's not as if say Obina Kwatinasako review or whatever to know. So audit report Ghana Audit Service and Kasa a flagged that particular thing already. Say your friend is saying Adia Yamfa Ghana Sikanya Sania Mano.
Intine say on one kasanim.
On one him say she was guilty because the audit service in the past na kamwasem. Only thing is Yamfa Mabonting.
Okay. Because
how do you explain to me say yes if I obakọ also could plane take it ama obakọ America ababa din and she ended up spending over $10,000 in the form of take it 1 billion because you say business class no upgraded now me say plane yes business class na binim say ye we upgraded the NS kwa tena plane no wins no so no bia who say Chief Justice ba o meba
Ebia ope comfort.
No business class ya upgrade ni plane over tena he.
Ebia better pilot.
No I did that so kwatena pilot ani man asa kwatena wings no so no bia hu sa wo na utu yes ka kese does it make sense? And also on the pilot ni obey co-pilot because how do you explain this to Obia abayo ofri north waba Kumasi wa wo ba kwa bi ekurukura onyanya bi na pan eso no na akwara ketwa hye na chi na obre na fifira tenu nyunu ju ado be kofi 20 cities anya se bia ne bra na wa mo ni ye o situation ni system no de e de ama no because ebi oha ne maame ne papa ndema nkoye no so free man ba and that is the struggle people are going through. These are the daily realities. Ask Dean wunya such way na you don't abuse such privileges. And then second instance, so esamba biem sankesi ba akwa nka betimi de achewo. Second one no ye no santam ne kunu didi achire and sa kwantu we nyina okwa otua padiam de mo every night bia no wo je hu sika. Se enye conflict of interest and dey biem. Se enye conflict of interest. So this is the gravity of the issue aye ka ho asemene. Man for sada air brushing aside. And again, this men am administrative head ya bawura court ni ya tutu sebia woti hayai na daddy bosco asoma manfo so omra computer na yetu camera na yetu ya ma obi amane o judge te court edi asem hwa na ya chemo amoti ha nyina na national security abefa mo na yede mokwa se omonko interrogate mo national security ya chiwa onim de yede beyo na fei asem no jo kakra na ya san transfer tamale ya fa we yede ne ko ho na ya set up committee said that be niam na nkrofo ne ye nhwehwem ye ko hwe ma ya se di ni fo di nya ni bone. Do you know the kind of niam a wakọ so afe ya say ma din mra ba ka so ma ya fensan ma to na twene north onkotena ho. Yes, at the time na we na ekoso. So you see make us say the bia wunya tumi a you should be very restrained niam wo de beye because nipa na wo di omo yes niam na feel that dissatisfied that they will come up with some of these things. And you see an administrative head of a judiciary, you are supposed to live a very distinguished lifestyle. Ebetimi I engender trust, I embodying confidence. I'm a man for nya hotoso our judiciary and several other cases. Yebetimi akeka ho asem. And there are people out there na say process na I go through no. Omuntimi flag any constitutional irregularity, but they are saying that it is not fair. Now me say the bay na yes status argument is not fair. Then talk no ba Supreme Court no. Aye papaya oya committee chairman on fairness saying papaya omo yi ne Supreme Court judge ya on ye Panaman
sa omko
ya committee ni ye Panaman na ye we no omo nyina ye senior 2 ya fairness saying toko no oba ye no na your friends Papaya or acting CJ. They were all there already. Yes, Akufo-Addo picked the junior and made her.
They saw no 2012 election petition.
So they are talking about fairness. Yes, and they are talking about fairness. Fairness and Kebefo na yefo obi ne small obi a watch na dey school no o fa na be any CJ one so is it fair? Even though the president no all right and we appoint obi am complaining. So there is nothing about fairness here because fairness na ye ka and can you no mum na so be chief justice. What I say am America. So focus on assembly.
Nothing has been fair in this world.
Oh na world no ye fair nka what here. Nka what here say nka wo Obama ba ana me boa. Enti sa na tie. Enti yan kan nsem na asino maame no start ye kan ne nsem bebre nsem o kan ye nyina ano ni nyina ni ho court kobo to ye because first one o start ye o say President Mahama emma the copies of the petition at the early stage. Me can say ni say President Mahama the man at that stage because Council of State consider petition no enya asem na ye di ya kase ye tie but President Mahama was kind enough to give her your friend saying the documents man go through. Council of State here na adwuma wie yom beka say oh yatimi establish merit case no wonyina so nti yemfa nko nanim no maame samba ya so yema no ruling and am say na ruling be na yemfa ma because Council of State consider your friends a petitioner enya asem die enya adjudicatory process enya judicial process na makwatena se afra witnesses aka say ye the ruling abanti yema na copy man nkan constitution ne ka say Council of State will go through the petition, and from where I sit, all that Council of State is supposed to do is say Constitution is set a threshold within which a Chief Justice can be removed, and infirmity, both body and mind, misbehavior and incompetence. So we are Council of State, and what your petitioner, and I'm saying when you're lawyer, now when you're judge, all that you're supposed to do is to assess the competence of the petition in line with these three ways. Now you set your constitution. Once there are linkages, that is your job. The legal aspect, give you to the next stage, and that is what the Council of State did. And to when you say Council of State in Kodi asem no makocho report no mudi ruling na ba na toko na who is supposed to know law akachi omo say Council of State ruling yam fama no ruling ben. It's just a discretionary way based on your friends and near my and you see mistake about kwa ya okroma me say nipa nya tumi okroma na ni nyansa free ni timi yam fanya de papa ne say so what kind of constitution na wa ho I say when the president receive a petition yes when the president receive a petition, he will forward the petition to Council of State, and Council of State will establish what you call the premier facier in that particular case. Constitution is very blunt on that, on country. And here, as a human being, you should have been smart enough to know, say, okay, let us come out with a guideline. I bet me I spell it out. The process that the Council of State need to go through. So for Akufo na man no dem no or a Chief Justice she didn't see the need say yem go through a process. Now you say it's a step by step process that the Council of State need to go through and the public will know. Obi anya as we speak. There is no single constitutional instrument that regularizes that particular process. So Council of State said omodi Charlotte say no. Sa na omodi justice ya find say we no mo na ya ba beduru ha say. So you don't say it is not fair. Okay. And then the Council of State may establish a young the next stage. The Constitution, Article 146, 10A down was a catch the president to say you have a discretionary power, and that discretionary power is that you can decide to sign a warrant and suspend the Chief Justice so and that is what Mahama said discretionary. Yeah. So it is either you do or you don't do. Yeah. Mahama decided on the obe sign amanakwa kwatena fie. Oh how to say, and he's not the first person to do that. Akufo-Addo sign be my Justice Derry and 4 judges kwatena fie abra na yedi o mosem e Supreme Court in the our High Court. In the end Osaki obunyina. So I'm saying say I'm walking you through this process for you to understand say there hasn't been any pointer ye jumping over any of the process. Okay. And again, yes setting up committee ma me no be kika nsem bebre nsem na all can sometimes na me worried about your friends enra
o de hold on